As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
All right, we are live for our Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers pregame show. And we got to play. I will say, I'm excited about this game. I know the talk, and I talked about it earlier when I went live this morning. But a lot of people saying this game don't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. The Vikings beat the Packers. Next week's a humongous game. But this is still a rematch against the team that knocked out the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. Every game in the NFL matters at the end of the day. That's a fact. Like, there's nothing else behind that. By the way, this new soundboard thing, unbelievable. Everything's just like
sounds crystal clear.
Yeah, I don't know if our old one was weird or not, but it sounds so different.
We're upgrading.
Yeah, it sounds so different. But I'll say this though, Jeff, I'm with you. Like, there is a sense in this game where it's like things do matter. Klotz and boys, don't get mad at me. I will say this, and I'm not gonna. I told you boys before. I have the debut of something today. Not doing it now. I have a debut of something today. Not doing it now, but. I don't like. There's two things I don't like with this game. One, the people who say it doesn't matter, and two, the people who say play your starters all 4 quarters. I hate both. I'm right in the middle, and I hate the fact that people actually think that this is a game to where, yes, it matters because it's a revenge game, but that doesn't mean you need to go out there for 4 quarters and put, what is the saying, belt to ass for 4 straight quarters with your best players in the NFL. This is a weird situation. I don't think in the last couple of years I've ever seen this in the NFL, a scenario to where a team's in week 17 and the game that actually matters is the following week. Like, I don't think we've seen that in a long time in the NFL. So it puts you in a weird scenario to where it was like, if it was week 18, Klotz, and it's like nothing matters, you're probably going to sit your players the second half. But you're in a situation to where you have the biggest game of the year in 7 days at home, or 6 days at home at Ford Field. That will determine a lot in your season potentially. And you cannot afford to have a guy down. You cannot afford to, if you play Jared Goff in the second half and something, knock on wood, happens, or Amon Ra or Frank Ragnow, and something bad happens and you're like, oh no, you can't afford to be missing someone like that next week. You cannot. So, Jeff, this is where people are like, hey, you go out there. I said belt to ass for the whole game. You do it for the first 2 quarters. You put 28 points up to start the game, boys, and you go out there and you say, hey, second half, hey, take a seat over there, Jared. Take a seat.
Let me ask you this,
you go second half. You do that. But go out there, get in the rhythm, win the football game in the first half, and then we're on to Vikings, and then let these guys go get reps in. Because this game, outside of the revenge factor, means nothing. Revenge factor, everything. I want to beat Kyle Shanahan. I want him to be on the hot seat tonight.
I don't
he won't be, but I want him to
be. Now, let me, and again, I agree with you. If the situation comes, I agree. Go ahead, rest the starters. What if it's, and because me and Jeff were talking about it before the show, what if it's 34-20 and then 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter?
You rest them. You take them out. You take them out. There's a point to where you get to the game where you're like, these guys are playing good. You cannot afford, like, 49ers, dude, they don't care. They're coming out here ready to hit. They want to ruin your season, which it can't be ruined. I saw a Kyle Shanahan quote being like, we want to ruin their season. Buddy, you can't do anything today to them. But, like, they're going to go out there. As much as we don't say it happens in the NFL, guys try and hurt guys. They have low hits. They're going to be trying to play at 100%, like, all game till the end of the whistle, till the fourth quarter. So if you get to a certain point and you're up, like, you go, okay, boys, sit down. We got the revenge out of the way. Like, we're winning by 2 touchdowns. You're not playing the rest of the game. Like, we can't afford to lose you in the fourth quarter because, and we have the biggest game of our season in 6 days. You can't.
Shout out Real American Beer.
Shout out Real American Beer.
I will say everything you said is absolutely correct. Do I think Dan would ever do it? No. And do I think they should? To start the game? Absolutely not. No, you're not doing that. Number one,
no.
You already have enough players that are injured right now. So you can't really, you're not really in a position to just bench a bunch of, you can't do it. So if you're looking at players that might be a little older or might be banged up, do you bench those guys in the fourth quarter if you're up multiple scores? Probably, but Dan's done that all year. So really, don't do anything different, Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Do exactly what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Do what got you here. They bench guys against some garbage teams, but you don't, of course he's going to consider that if you're up multiple scores late in the fourth. To what you said, considering next week is a massive game. So I think now more than ever, he'll be more inclined to. It's going to be exactly what Dan's been doing. Nothing will change.
I think, too, like, realistically, we've seen Dan sit the guys for a full fourth quarter this year. Yeah. And you were up by 40. Yes, I get that. But we've seen Dan sit guys and be like, we're gonna let guys relax. I think tonight is just a little less of a leash to where, you don't need to be up 50-20 or 50-14 for you to see Dan be like, yeah, sit down, you're good. I think it just needs to be a little bit less because, again, like I think Dan's realized this. As much as we know Dan's the big bad Dan Campbell, like we all love. He knows aside, like Dan Campbell's a football guy. He's a guy that's very smart. There's a reason he's a head coach in the NFL, and that reason is decision making. Yes, he has made some decisions, and that has put him on the map. But there are times too where you see Dan Campbell be like, "Hey, I'm going to do the right thing here." I think, and like Dan Campbell is not dumb, guys. Like he's not going to go out there. And for the people who are going to sit here in the chat, and I think Lions fans are on my side. I put a tweet out, and the majority of the people are like, "Yeah, play him for a bit and then sit him once you know it's good." Like, that's where I'm at. I'm not saying sit them all game. I think Dan's smart enough to know, like, hey, if we get any sort of lead, he knows, like, this game means nothing outside of the revenge factor. Do you really, like, I know Dan, he loves the revenge and all that. He's all about that. Do you really, like, he does not care. Like, he doesn't care. He cares about winning a Super Bowl and winning the North. Like, that's all his goals are, and their goals are. So that's where I think Dan gets into it and ends up going, like, a little bit more to where he, like, you know, once it hits that point in the third quarter, halfway through the third, maybe a drive or two in the third quarter, and you're winning the game, okay, we're moving on. We're letting the other guys go.
No, go ahead.
I would say, it's not. Can't really look at it as a revenge game because especially this 49ers team, like it's kicking a dead horse while they're already down. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same 49ers team. To your point, Booner, they have nothing to play for besides their pride. And Devondre Campbell walked out with his the other day. Like the culture is just a fucking mess. When you look at this Lions team and this 49ers team, they're on two different levels. So yes, it's going to be nice to go in there and pick up that W because you lost to him in the NFC Championship game. But that's what it was looking like going into the season. At this point, it's not like, again, it's an NFC win. Be nice to put on the stat sheet looking back at the end of the season, but you're looking forward to week 18. So I'm with you, Boone. Like it's real. It's not, it matters, obviously. Yes. But if you're up by multiple possessions, kind of late, middle, third quarter, I'd be all right with it. My thing is like the people that are like, hey, no matter what, like you got
the guys are going to play football.
Yeah.
They're going to, there's like and people in my comments were saying the rest versus rust. That does make sense. Like you do want to make sure these guys are getting some, reps and keep the thing going because you don't want to rest for a full week and then play the Vikings. But all right, can I just be honest with you?
Sure.
Let's just honest. And I would love the people in the chat I would love to see what you guys have to say. This 49ers team, they're a bottom 15 team in football right now.
I know half.
Yes, I understand the revenge factor, guys. Do we really care about the 49ers this year? They're going to Cabo in 2 weeks. In 8 days, they're going to be in Cabo. Who cares about, like, that's where, like, today, it's like, I get it. Like, I want to beat down the 49ers and get revenge for the NFC Championship. Buddy, who cares? Like, they are one of the worst teams in football this year. We're playing in the postseason. They're not. We're going to play for the division next week in the 1 seed.
They're not.
They're eliminated. So, like, to me, it's like my revenge factor. You're not playing in the postseason, and I am. I'm playing for a division, and you're not. I don't care about the 49. Like, they are so irrelevant to me this year because they are so bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many people today. I'm turning all these radio stations on, listening, and everyone's just like, oh my gosh, I want revenge. Buddy, they're not making the playoffs. They suck.
They already got their
they're not in the, you're playing for a Super Bowl. They're going to Cabo. Like, that's where today I was just like, I was kind of shook. Like, I get it. Like, I want to win the game, and I hope they win the game, and I think they will win the game, and I think they'll win it by a lot. But the people who are like, play them 4 quarters, man, we want revenge. We want to go into Levi Stadium. And like, dude, they're going to Cabo next week.
At that point, you're letting ego get in the way.
Yeah.
So it's
and Dan Campbell does not care about any of that.
No, he does. He won't let ego get in the way. I have the inactive list, so I'm going to put this up for you guys. So let's see who we got here on inactive. Let me get this out the way so you guys can see it. But here are the official inactive list. Dave Montgomery, obviously. Teddy Bridgewater, inactive. Giovanni Manu, it's unfortunate, inactive. Yodi, inactive. Colby Sorsdahl, inactive. Jonah Williams, defensive lineman, inactive. And then Broderick Martin, inactive. So that's the inactive list.
I hate that, man.
bro.
I love Broderick Martin, and I mean, he not giving us much, huh? Not giving me anything to work with.
Yeah, well, I mean, hold on, Mel. Sorry about that. Yeah, Broderick, it's an interesting one. I will say, I don't know. Again, I don't look at Broderick as someone that could fill the void of Aleem. I think he's more of like a true nose tackle. Maybe that's why. I don't know. They got Pat O'Connor though, and they also have now Germ. He's officially activated. Tonight. So Germ is back. He's officially back. Special teams saved.
I even think this linebacker room, like my biggest takeaway with Germ coming back is like you're down Rodrigo and down Enzo right now and Derek Barnes. It's like Germ, when those guys go down, Germ's supposed to be one of those guys that steps up. Like he's not just a special teams guy right now. Like maybe this week because he's his first week back, but like you need Germ to go out there and be at times a starting linebacker. Like you need it.
He's going to be. I mean, I know that you think he will, but I think they're just going to. If he's activated in this type of game, yes, they obviously want to get him a little bit more warmed up for the important game next week. But I expect Germ, especially when we talk about pulling the starters, like you don't want Jack Campbell out there for too long. He's going to be part of that reinforcement. I think when you have Ben Neiman, you're going to have Trevor Nowaski. I think Jalen Reeves-Maben will be out there too. So I think he'll be getting his like normal workload that he would be outside of obviously Ando's hurt, so that create more volume, but he'll be out there a lot on defense, I expect tonight.
I'm excited to see Germ. I'm excited. Hey, can I throw this out there with the injury report of the inactives? I do love the fact that we have an emergency quarterback now. Like before that, we I don't think we've ever really had a guy that was like your emergency third going into the playoffs. That's big time. That's big. Because remember the 49ers like 2 years ago?
I know.
Christian McCaffrey was playing quarterback. Now you have Hendon Hooker and you have Teddy Bridgewater. So I love that.
Bridgewater taking Hendon's spot.
Well, you know what Booner just said? He said we have Hendon Hooker and then we have Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy is the emergency tonight.
Let's just note that. Keep that a mental note.
He is number 3.
Right there. But yeah, you have the inactive. I put up the Germ, kind of the official there. He's back, so that's good news. Also, there's a video here I want to show of Kirby Joseph getting loose out there. I think Kirby, he knows the interception streak. Well,
does he have a streak?
The bad streak, I guess. Yeah. Consecutive games without a pick.
He started off hot. Kind of.
I shouldn't say bad. I shouldn't say bad. He's like human. You know, I guess that's how you look at it.
And I mean, at some point,
he's not
quarterbacks are going to learn, hey, this guy's gotten an interception 4 out of the last 5 weeks. Let's stop throwing it his way. And you see the amount of like deep shots that are taken per game, usually outside the perimeter.
We get that noise. So there you go. Kirby Joseph warming up out there.
I mean, I think you look at how this 49ers offense is built, their main players, Debo and George Kittle, are over the middle of the field. They'll be running crossers. I think either Branch, especially because he's going to be in the nickel, or Kirby, they're due for an interception. This safety duo hasn't got an interception since Houston, was it?
Yeah, that would be the last
Houston,
one.
The last interception as a whole on this team.
Yeah, so it was even before. Probably Jacksonville. Kirby's interception against Jacksonville late in the game.
Yeah.
And these are both probably, I mean, without a doubt, the best safety tandem in the NFL, but both of those guys are top 5 at their respective positions. However you want to rank them. Brian Branch I definitely put first, but Kirby Joseph, you can put him however you want. I think he's definitely top 2 free safety in the NFL this year. So they're due. And in prime time, like how many prime time games have we seen Kirby Joseph step up and make a play? Brian Branch step up and make a play.
It's been a while though. And Houston is the last time they've been playing in big. They just have the defense has not gotten intercepted. It's like at some point before the playoffs, you have to like get going a little bit.
Brock Purdy turns over that pill too.
And then and then going into Sunday, getting a little bit of
some swagger.
Get a feeling. Get some momentum going into Sunday. They already have swagger, so they don't need to get that. I don't like that, Klotz. They already have that.
Oh my!
Come on now.
Hey, before we're going to talk more about the defense. I got some comments I want to bring up here. I want to get to Iffy in other parts right now. But Ray says, Booner, I got to pay rent and have money. To party tomorrow, but I'm gonna need you to lock in on these bets.
Ray, first of all, bet responsibly. Don't try and get your rent money through me now, even though I'll probably hit. I do have a parlay. I actually locked in my parlay last night. And it was weird because I put the bets in, and then over the next 24 hours, everyone starts getting this feeling that Lions, they're going to sit guys in the second half. So hopefully this thing hits in the first half, which I think it will. I think they're going to try and just go like all out in the first half, and it's like this parlay might hit by the halftime.
And
the legacy play.
Weezy D said, just got word from the heavyweights at the Ball Knower said that Darnold will be in the MVP conversation in San Francisco. Why just switch up in Minnesota?
Oh, I never connected those two dots, but
the chat always remembers.
The Minnesota Vikings are at especially the beginning of the season. We all unanimously thought that team was going to be third or fourth in the division.
I do
you
agree.
Think of the San Francisco 49ers last year, Super Bowl contender. So, hey,
I'll
take my flowers where I can, but no, I didn't stick with him. I'm not going to be pulling the Colin Cowherd. I told you, he's got a little Andrew Luck in him. No, I think in a good system with a good offensive-minded head coach, Sam Darnold had all the intangibles, but the people are going a little bit overboard comparing to this guy. He's got some Andrew Luck in him. He's doing things that only Peyton and Brady have done. Like, let's relax, guys. Okay, we've seen this story before. 2 years ago, we saw Geno Smith go to the Seattle Seahawks, throw 30-plus touchdowns, lead the Seahawks to a postseason.
He balled. Geno did ball.
Geno Smith, respect on the man's name.
Geno Smith, he went out and balled that year, but Sam Darnold, I think he can be a good quarterback in Minnesota and have great moments, especially with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. He's in a very good situation.
Yeah.
But if you drop that man off in Washington with, for example, like Jaden Daniels, I think has more success than Sam Darnold does this year.
Jaden Daniels is a better football player.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like a fact.
If you were to, but when you watch him this year,
crazy.
like Sam Darnold is a better quarterback this year.
He's not elevating as much as you think Jane Daniels would.
Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. You can win with Sam Darnold. I think that's the thing that like people try to take away from him at first. It's like the Minnesota Vikings. We were talking about it when we did the Packers Vikings stream. Like he's better than people. He's better than people think he is. Like
definitely.
He's slinging it out there. Like if you watch the Vikings, it's not just him going out there and playing in this. It's like the conversation with golf where people like for the longest wanted to say, oh, it's just the system. It's like no. He's throwing for 300 yards consistently, and like he's slinging the rock. And it's like Sam Darnold's doing the same thing, and his arm, like dude, he can. He's making insane. Like that touchdown, one of the touchdowns he had yesterday was insane. We were like, how do you even get that throw in there? So like he is making plays. Now the point with Jaden Daniels is like a type of like he's like the ceiling to where you, and I'm not saying he is this yet, but like that ceiling because he's a dual threat is like Josh Allen and Mahomes and those types of players.
Lamar,
he can get to
but
that
my point
in his career. Sam Darnold can't get to that.
Sam Darnold versus a rookie quarterback. I'm going to take the rookie quarterback and Jaden, and that's where I'm saying that Sam Darnold looks like he could be a top 10 quarterback right now in the NFL. And I think that there's guys that he could maybe maintain that play for a little bit. He's not going to maintain this forever, in my opinion. Like I think the smart thing for Minnesota
I disagree.
to do,
if he's in the same position, like if he's in Minnesota the next 3 or 4 years, he's going to keep playing like this. Like he's got everything around him. He's got Kevin O'Connell. He's got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, a run game, an offensive line, a defense. Like if he's there long term, yes, he's going to do that long term. His like play's not going to go down like if he stays there, they're only going to get better. And he's going to keep winning.
But sometimes, you know how the NFL, sometimes it isn't like this in the NFL always.
No, like, but I mean, he gets better, but he's just going to be normal. He's just going to be like where he is.
Still, like, I'm not saying he'd be bad, but my point is right now is the Minnesota Vikings have 2 losses. And when you look at their losses, I think he's obviously going to lose more. Once there's tape on how to beat this Minnesota team with Sam Darnold.
Oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. We had the same argument. Okay, let's move forward. This is the Lions. This is Lions 49ers. We had this argument week 5 when I had the Vikings in my top 10. And he goes, once they get tape on this guy, I'm telling you, this is deja vu. We're in week 17. They have 17 weeks worth of tape on him. And he's still going out there. I'm not doing this.
Do you think Sam Darnold is a game-breaking quarterback?
He's been playing at a level you can win with. So, that's where you're going wrong. No one's saying game breaker. No one's saying this. No one's saying MVP.
But my whole point is
you're winning with him.
When you see, we can move on if you want to. But
no, finish your thought.
When you have game-breaking quarterbacks, the reason why I say game-breaking, you look at Justin Herbert right now. He has nothing around him.
Right.
But he breaks down schemes because he has that ability and he does it consistently with
Sam
Darnold.
Yeah, but no one's saying he's him, though. That's the thing. I don't know where you're going with that because no one's saying he's Jaden
examples
Daniels
of why I'm saying I don't think Sam Darnold is a quarterback that will go and win you a Super Bowl. If they want to get him, fine, but he's not going to be a quarterback that's playing at the same level forever. The Minnesota Vikings are 14-2
Yeah, you
right
put
now.
him in a different team, he's not going to play the same.
I even think if he's in Minnesota right now, he could play very good, but I think this is probably the best.
Week 5 to me.
Okay, Booner, look, what I'm saying is I'm talking about Sam Darnold specifically. I do not think Sam Darnold can maintain this play through the rest of his career if he stays with Minnesota Vikings. He can play good, but this is peak Sam Darnold in my opinion.
So, okay. You think it's peak Sam Darnold? You disagree? You
we had this conversation week 5 about Sam Darnold, week 6, and he said it's peak in week 5, week 6, and he's consistently stayed at his peak. So now we're switching to his career instead of the year. So that's fine with me.
I think Sam. I think Sam's very.
Goalposts can move.
I think Sam's playing very, very good. He surprised me. Very good. I just don't. I think he'll always just kind of be a guy like you can win games with, but I don't think
put him in. It's like Kirk Cousins, dude. Kirk Cousins could win in Minnesota,
but Kirk, I would say Kirk would never win. I don't think.
As soon as he leaves, Super Bowl. He's in a bad position. That's where I thought Klotz was going with it. It's like if you get in a different position, you're not going to be good.
But do you think him with the Vikings are they
for the next 4 years?
Win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, they're going to have a chances to. I don't think they will because I'm going to say the Lions will every year. But you're in the NFC North. But I think they're going to be what they're doing this year. Obviously, they're not going to only lose 2 or 3 games every year.
Yeah.
But they're going to be in the playoffs contending for the NFC North and contending. Like, they're going to be there with the Lions. Like, the Lions, like, all of a sudden, that's why it's been one of the most frustrating things ever. All of a sudden, you have the Vikings that are sitting there, and you're like, this isn't a one-year thing. Like, they have all the pieces. They already paid Justin Jefferson. They have Sam Darnold. They pay him at the end of this year.
Yeah, they'll be good.
They have a roster and they have a coaching staff. So the next 3 or 4 years, it's like, as much as we might hate the Vikings and like, I think they'll beat them next week, or the Lions will beat them next week. But it's like they're going to be around for the next 3 or 4 years. And it's like, that's just if they stay with Sam Darnold.
Is there ever going to be a year you rank Sam Darnold in the top 10?
If he does this consistently, yeah. Like if he's doing what he's doing now for the next 2 or 3 years, then you're gonna be like, yeah, he's 9 or 10. Like it's the same thing like with Jared Goff.
What stops him from doing it
better,
consistently?
Jared's better. Yeah, Jared's better. But like it took until this year for people to legit be like, oh, Jared's a top 10 quarterback. Why did it take until this year?
The numbers are always there.
Okay,
and Sam,
but again, if Sam does this for the next 2 or 3 years, doing what he's doing right now, in 2 or 3 years, you're gonna be like, Jared did this for 2 or 3 years in Detroit, and then eventually everyone said, hey, he's in the top 10. If Darnold does it for 2 or 3 years, you're going to look at it and be like, he literally, like, he's there. Again, he has to do it. Do I think he does it? It's yet to be seen. Because then you're.
That's what I'm saying, though. My point is, do I think he can consistently do this?
You're saying no, that's fine.
So but you're saying it's crazy. It's not at all.
I don't think it's crazy. The thing I think is crazy. Yeah, I think it's crazy is that week 5 you said the rest of the year he can't do it.
I said the Vikings as a whole. I said the Vikings as a whole.
Switch into his career.
A lot of people did.
It happens. I said they would get
Steve Wiles says, Booners, I am not scared. Lions are going to beat them next week. They're going to beat them next week. People need to stop looking at breaking stuff down and being like people are scared, this or that. We'll have a conversation about that with the fans later.
Let's get more to the defense, because if he is now running it back for a second week, you can kind of talk more about what you expect out of this defense, and it doesn't have to necessarily be on Iffy. But I think Iffy's a guy that I'm going to be watching today. I'm excited. He had a sack last week. I think he builds off of that, and he's someone that even last year, I know we keep bringing this up, but the stretch of football he had, I'm excited to see him today. What do you guys make of kind of the defensive matchup? And maybe you can talk about some players you're looking forward to seeing today.
I mean, defensively, I kind of already covered it with the safeties, but outside of that, I mean, somebody that we saw bright spots, I should say, in the NFC Championship game was Josh Pascal. And I think when you look at Brock Purdy, we've seen so many times where quarterbacks over the last couple of weeks have been able to get pressure, but then they break contain. And Brock Purdy is a guy that can kill you on the ground. I think his line's at like 20.5 rushing wise. And I know the public's loving that right now. Josh Pascal, I think if he consistently gets home to the quarterback and finishes the play, that's something, again, like we were talking about with the safety duo. Get that ready, get that ball starting to roll a little bit, because Sam Darnold, he killed the Lions on the ground. He had 39 rushing yards in Minnesota last matchup. So if Josh Pascal can kind of get in a rhythm along with Zadarius Smith, but between the safety duo and Josh Pascal, that's who I'll be really keyed in on. And I mean, the secondary as a whole, but that safety duo and Josh Pascal, I think, are huge keys outside of the other pieces of this team.
Yeah, I think defensively, like, you have to find a way today. I like the safeties, Klotzy, because with the injuries, especially at corner, you have to find a way, like, defensively in the secondary to get these things going and find. I think today it's like these first 3 quarters, just find a rhythm. You did it in Chicago last week. You get to find a rhythm. And the one thing, too, the defensive line today, that has to get going. Like, there has to be a point where that switch gets flipped. And in Chicago, I don't know if you guys remember, that fourth quarter, they started to figure something out a little bit. And it was like, okay, a little too late in this game. Now, if you can get that into this 49ers game and you can get to Brock Purdy, I said it, what was it? We did a show earlier this week, and I had mentioned I would love to see them sack Brock Purdy 5 times. Go get 5 sacks on him. Like, the pressure, all that, we can have all that. I want to go get sacks, because when you go on to Sunday Night Football for Sam Darnold, you're going to have to get to Sam Darnold to get him to keep the ball away from Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Like, Zadarius Smith, haven't seen him in a few weeks. Guess what? Step up today. I guess we saw him in the fourth quarter, as I was saying, but like Zadarius Smith, Josh Pascal. I want to see DJ Reader back there.
No Trent Williams is huge.
Yeah, and like these guys had Levi O. I want to see Levi O have a big game. Mohammed, like I want to see these guys. Pat O'Connor.
Mhm.
I want to see these guys get to the quarterback, sack Brock Purdy. Don't give up anything. Like don't give them time in the pocket today. Like I don't want to see that because then when it comes to this next Sunday, you need to be confident. Like your secondary needs to say, okay, our front seven, they're starting to get some pressure. They're starting to figure this thing out. And then you get into the playoffs and you're like, okay, now this thing's starting to roll a little bit. So you do need to see the defensive line as well. I think both sides, secondary and like the interior there, it's like it's big days for them. Big days.
Weezy D 313 says Zadarius is a jag. Davenport is a better player,
Jeez.
but he can't stay healthy.
Jeez. Okay.
That's
half a sack Davenport. I won't even start getting on it. Not a chance. Not a chance. You can miss me with that. I mean, Zadarius Smith had more sacks before Davenport even got hurt than Davenport did.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, he had Myles Garrett. He had Aiden Hutchinson on the other side of him too. But Jeff, because there was another defensive player that I thought Boone was going to take. I didn't know. Hefe, did you have a player you're going to want to watch?
Jack Campbell.
No, I'm going to do Jack Campbell. Don't worry.
What are you gonna do?
I think I'll say a player that I think people need to watch out for today, and it's because I think it was the aura in which the video I just saw, and that's Kirby Joseph.
Oh,
Was that who you were thinking?
it was not. It was not.
Kirby
Man.
Joseph today. You mentioned it, teased it. I think he gets an interception. But besides that, I'll give you. We'll take who do you got?
Iffy Mello.
I thought you already said that.
I said that
You said
first.
that already. Yeah, that's why I would have said it. No. You went on a safety rant,
Hey,
so
I
I figured I'll leave that alone. I curved.
that's on
I
me,
was gonna go safeties. I zigged, I zagged, so we could get a couple.
Hey, we can double down on it.
talk about
Double dip-
everything here.
You know
double
what?
dip in the iffy stock.
You know what I will say? I do appreciate that you said you thought I would take it because I did take
Yeah.
it. So you had a good. You were there.
I
He
figured,
looked at me.
You were halfway. You didn't.
I was
He was
surprised.
whispering it to me. I'm
You were
like,
right.
is he
I did
saying
take it.
iffy?
I did
already
say it.
talked
on
about
me.
Yeah,
it.
it's on
iffy
me.
man. I think he's gonna make plays
That's
today.
on me.
Come on,
man.
He's gonna make plays today, man.
Oh,
And
man.
this is something I said today. Let's just accept how this is a game script. All right, I'll give you like a little.
All right,
I got
let's
the
hear it.
NFL
Let's
script.
hear it.
The 49ers, Brock Purdy's going to throw for a shit ton of yards.
Okay.
Accept it.
How many do you think?
280. Something in that ballpark.
That's fair.
Just trying to get the game flow. Boone, he threw for like 300 last week against
Did
the
he?
Dolphins. Yeah.
So,
On the road.
but maybe I'm being a little friendly, but I'll just 280.
Versus the Lions, though,
Accept
like,
it. Accept
I might put a 49ers parlay just
mentally
because it's like,
accept it.
you know,
He is also
they're going to be down by 40 all game.
he is also going to be leading their team in rushing. Okay, that's going to happen. That's good. So I give you the positive. I give you
Is
the negative.
Isaac Grundo back or no?
Yes, he is.
They're no, they have injuries to their offensive line.
Very fine running back.
I will say I thought this Lions defense was pretty good against the run.
Great, actually. Not pretty good. They're great.
Put them in a body bag.
Not even great.
That's what
you know
they're
what they
gonna
are? You know what they are? They're elite.
It-
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but accept that. Okay, accept that. Now, once you get past that, offensively, this team is going to score on damn near every possession. Okay,
Okay.
That's what we all get a good sense here. You get an offense that's fully healthy and banged up secondary. They still got some of their defense pieces. I think the 49ers will make it tough on them, like in the red zone in situation, but I think the Lions will still be able to move the ball. You have to force Brock into multiple turnovers today. That's the only way. If you want to stop that, if you want to try and shut them down, because they're going to move up and down the field on you.
No, okay.
You got to turn
This
the ball
guy.
over today defensively.
This guy thinks, all right, they're going to move up and down the field because you're going to be up by 30 on them. That's where they're going to have to start.
From the start, they're going to move up and down the field.
I don't think so. You know what? Can we make a bet? Can we make a bet?
In the passing game.
I bet in
Not in the
the
running
I
game,
bet in the
excuse me.
first half, Lions forced 2 punts. Or 2 punts or turnover, like not touchdowns.
They get 2 stops.
No, I'm not.
I think they
don't
don't
wanna,
score on 2 drives in the first half. I think they're going to start off good.
My point, they're going to move the ball. I guess you could still theoretically punt, but you'll see some like 23-yard completion,
Yeah, but
15
you know
yard
what?
completion.
But I was thinking this
You know,
up when I was
and then
driving
maybe they get
today.
stopped. But I still think
I
they
had
will move the ball.
I see that's they might
Pretty
move the
well.
ball. I don't think they're going to put points up. I'm just going to be
Well,
honest.
that's the
Like I
different
think the first
conversation.
half, I think
You're
there's like
talking
an
about points.
opportunity to where you're looking at it and it's like Detroit Lions 17, 49ers 0 to start the game. That just.
But I'm not arguing that. Points I didn't
Okay.
say.
You're
I
talking
just
about
said like
moving.
moving the
Okay.
ball.
Bend
I
don't
mean,
break.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it fits.
Okay,
That's
I don't
why I
hate
was
that,
kinda
but
No,
like-
I was going to
break.
say, how do you disagree? We literally said they're going to
Yeah,
a bunch of yards,
Bend
points.
don't break.
Yes.
I'm with you on that.
That's
I
what I
thought
was
you were
saying.
saying they're
So
going to move the
accept it.
ball and score. I was like, I don't know about
No,
that.
no,
you know?
move the ball just up and down the field. They're going to move the ball.
Okay.
So let's just get that out the way. It's
out there.
okay.
Love that.
Can't overreact to it.
That one's out.
Hopefully he
back
gets some
on board.
interceptions. That's all I was saying.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
accept that, everyone, before later we watch the stream. Okay, they're going to move the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, and
George
I was
Kittle's
thinking
probably
this
gonna
too,
have
and I
100
almost
yards.
tweeted it out, and then I had one of those, and I might still do it. I think I might do it live, but what's that one website or that Twitter account that calls people out? Old Takes Exposed.
Yeah.
I was going to put out there the Detroit Lions are going to score like 28 plus in the first half on the San Francisco 49ers.
Boys,
like I feel like that's
pretty bold.
Here's a take, and it transitions to next week. I think the Detroit Lions, they don't have to. It's not like they lose the game, but you have to score 30 points this week, because that's, if you look at the Minnesota Vikings, a game that they've lost, all of them going back even to last year's matchup with the Detroit Lions, continuing to their whole regular season this year. The only games they lose if you have 30 points put up on the Vikings. If the teams that have won under 30 the Vikings have beat all of them. The teams that go above 30 have beaten the Vikings. So if you can't put up 30 on this 49ers defense, I understand you got Hufanga out there, you got Fred Warner, you got Nick Bosa, but you have got to be able to show that you can consistently put up 30 points and then carry it into next week. I think you got to do it. So 30 points is a must this week, I think.
I will say, okay, let me, I did misspeak, or I misspoke. I think the Lions will score points today. They always score 20 plus. I don't think they'll score on damn near every possession. I misspoke. I think 30, I don't think they'll score.
To be fair, I don't know. What was your score prediction?
31-21. So
Okay.
I think that's like the number right there. I don't think it gets a 37, 40 something.
The only reason they wouldn't get to 40 if the starters get pulled. That would be it to me.
Yeah.
I think the starters.
I think in my situation they wouldn't.
I think there's a
31-21.
situation where you're just looking at it so where we've seen them all year versus defenses that have struggled, that were beat up with injuries, whether they had guys or not. We've seen defenses like that Titans defense, man. And going into that game, like everyone, we're saying that, hey, they're going to win. But remember, people were like, hey, that Titans secondary, their run defense, they have names. They have these names. They have this guy, and then all of a sudden the Lions go up and put 50 on them. And then I know the Cowboys didn't have Micah Parsons, but everyone's still like, hey, this defense are a little scary. They still have dudes on there. Just because they don't have Micah, you put up a 50 piece on them.
I mean, even the Packers, they put 30 plus on.
Yeah, and then today you're looking at it, and it's like, okay, you want to say they still have Nick Bosa. Guess what? Nick Bosa had an injury there. He was out for weeks, and guess what? Since he's came back, Nick Bosa hasn't had a sack. They've lost every linebacker they've had. They have edge rushers getting hurt. Their secondary's beat up here and there. Like this, I'm not going to say you're going to put 50 up on them, but it's like this is just leaning to a bad football team this year that their defense isn't playing that. They gave up 30 to the Packers and they gave up 30 to the Bills. You should go in there and you can put 50 up on them if your starters play the full game, which they won't. You could put 30 plus up on them. So like to me, it's just like, sometimes it feels a little too simple, and this feels like it's like a little too simple, and it's like there's no way it should be that easy. But like we've seen this Lions team, man, like we break it down, and then all of a sudden this Lions team puts up a 50 piece, they put up a 40 piece, a 30 piece, and the games you least expect it, they put up 24, 27. This is a game where you don't least expect it. That's why I'm like, they're gonna do it. They're gonna put up 40.
I hope they do, because then you're going to bench your starters. Unless the 49ers score 30 plus. I would love if the starters got benched. It means you whooped some ass today. So I see this in the chat too. Trevor says, "Sup guys, loving the show. Can I get a recap of your bets tonight?" Actually, Booner's bets is later, so stick around. We'll get to Booner's bets.
Cooking. I
want to talk about the offense. More about players, certain players. I think, and I said this on Thursday, Friday. J-Mo, big day. This is a guy who had 2 touchdowns last year in the NFC Championship game. Jameson Williams today will make some big plays. Okay, we saw last week he kind of get back into that, the Jameson we're used to seeing, which is just a bomb over the top. We got to see that last week. I think you may see it today too. No Jardavius Ward, Renardo Green. He's an okay rookie, but he's a rookie.
He's very undersized.
Jameson, it's already hard enough to guard him. I don't know how fast Tufonga can run, but he better run fast.
And if you go back and you watch the game last week with the Dolphins and the Niners, like Tua and that offense was taking shots. Like they were forcing the ball downfield. They were just, even if it wasn't there, they were throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill. Now, granted, you're going to throw the ball to Tyreek Hill when he's downfield, but Jameson Williams is that type of player. And Tre'Davious Ward was most of the time on Tyreek. So now that you don't have that there, I mean, Tyreek can fly, but at this point in their careers, Jameson Williams, I bet, is at least close to Tyreek Hill. So I bet there's at least 1 or 2 deep shots to Jameson Williams. And if it's anything like last week, boys, I mean, what was that, a 75, 80-yard touchdown with Jared Goff and Jameson Williams? They're clicking right now, and he already cooked against them last year. I think we'll even see a couple more end-arounds to him throughout the last 2 games of the season. But J-Mo, I mean, we talked about it this week. needs 110 yards to get 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah.
This is definitely an opportunity where he can go out there and exploit a secondary that's beat up on the perimeter with his speed. So, J-Mo, big game. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's my guy. I think Jamison Williams, he's 110 yards from 1,000. He knows it. The offense knows it. Jared knows it. Of course he does. So I'm going to go J-Mo, big game today. I think the Lions score. I have a 31-21. I mean, I said this on Friday, so I have him scoring 30 points. I think J-Mo might get one of them. But, yeah, big day by J-Mo. I do believe that.
Yeah, I think J-Mo has a good game today. I mean, he's not my legacy player. I do have some bets on him that I'll give out, but I do think J-Mo, like, he's set to just continue to have a good game. He's just so hard to guard. And, like, now that Sam Laporta is kind of stepping up a little bit more and you're starting to see Sam Laporta of his rookie year again, and you're starting to see Amon-Ra more, and, like, Tim Patrick is coming out a little bit, and Jameer. Like, J-Mo, it's like you can't – the crazy thing is that you just can't guard all these guys. And it's literally – it's impossible. And J-Mo has benefited off of it. And, like, I've said this a million times, if he goes to another team and he's wide receiver one on half of the NFL right now. Like, just
– yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, and I said it last week. I mean, in his draft class, he's been the best receiver, I think. Out of his, I think skill wise, like Garrett Wilson and them, obviously.
This year,
but like this year,
yeah,
the amount of targets, like he has half the targets, he has half the targets, half the receptions as all of those guys, and he has 100 less yards.
I think that goes
100 less.
I think that goes with his play style. Like Garrett Wilson ain't doing that to people.
But if you go give J-Mo an offense to where he is the lone receiver, he's cooking people. Like he will cook.
He will, but
he doesn't need to do that here. You just haven't been able to see his full bag yet. He doesn't have to. You don't need it.
Yeah. I don't want to get into it because it sounds like I'm bashing J-Mo. But
you don't like J-Mo?
I hate J-Mo, apparently.
I'm clipping that.
I think this year he's been the best, but in out of the wide receiver class, I don't.
Obviously, like some of those guys, skill wise and career wise, are gonna like Garrett Wilson and Drake Lund. Like Chris Olave. There are dudes for sure. But just this year, like when you look at the stats, like he almost has the same amount of yards as these guys. He's less than 100 away from both of them, and he has half the catches and half the receptions, and he has like the same amount of touchdowns as both of them. So it's like when you look at the stats, it's like, dude, he's getting no opportunities, but he has the same production. That's crazy.
It is.
It's nuts.
What do you guys think about the trick play stuff? You know, should they
leave it today? You don't need the trick plays. No.
Yeah. Save them.
I mean, they might. I've said this a million times. They just have plays. Ben said it before. Just based on like a 49ers defense or this defense or these players and kind of their tendencies, like they have their own trick plays for every team in the NFL. So maybe you'll see some just that are just supposed to be just for the 49ers and they can't use on different teams, and you're not going to see the 49ers in the playoffs. So maybe that, but like if you're going out of your way to do it and it's like a big deal, it's like you don't need to show your hand. You don't need to tip your hand to anyone. You just get ready. I just think, and I know people might hate it, I just think it's like Sunday night is I want the win tonight, but Sunday night, man,
it's for all the
games of the year.
I'm
nervous as fuck for that game. I'm not gonna lie.
And all right, I can put this out here now. Are you want me to put this out here now? I told you boys. I say, hey, I have a new thing. The Booner Path is always a thing. The Booner Path to the Super Bowl is a thing. I have this new slogan. I think I want Lions fans and people to go. And I don't know if someone's already said it or not. I was just driving here today, and it popped in my head, and I go, this is the slogan for the Detroit Lions moving forward. It should be for me. It should be for you, Jeff. It should be for you, Klotz, Jeff, or Unc over there, Caleb over there. Every single person in the chat right now, this is all you should think about. It's 3 words and 3 words only. That's it. And I don't want Lions fans to be like, oh, you like this guy loves the Viking. This guy loves this. I'm tired of people complaining. I'm tired. I want people to get back. Like today, who cares? We don't care about the 49ers. What are we talking about? Acting like we're all online arguing. Listen, Detroit Lions fans should have one thing in their mind. You got to get back to that grit mentality, drinking the Kool-Aid, biting kneecaps, all of that. One thing matters at the end of the day. What is that, boys? That's winning a Super Bowl, a Lombardi trophy. I don't care about anything else. Dan Campbell wants to win a Lombardi trophy. And you know the 3 words I thought of on my way over here, boys? And we'll put it on a t-shirt. Job's not finished. That's it. That's it. Job's not finished. I don't care if you lose today. I don't care what happens Sunday night. You go get a Lombardi trophy and you go win a Super Bowl. Nothing else matters but a Super Bowl. Job is not finished, boys. That is it. I was all day long. I heard people like, being slappies. I heard people being SOL, this, that. All I went back to me and remembered in my head was sitting at Ford Field in the NFC Championship game, walking down the street, Jeff, all these Lions fans on my side, and I'm looking around going, and what did you tell me? This might be it. And I go, it's not it. We're winning a Super Bowl next year. We're winning one. And everyone starts, boys, we've been through 17 weeks of football.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
It's easy to get off track. You know who hasn't gotten off track? Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell has not. He says next week. And some reason, Lions fans, some reason people out there, all of that, some reason fans, and we do it, everyone does it, everyone in Detroit, they start to veer off, argue with each other, talk about this, who cares? It's job's not finished. Lombardi Trophy, Super Bowl. I don't care about anyone else. I don't care about Sam Darnold. I don't care about that. Lombardi Trophy. And we're going to put it on a t-shirt, and we're going to sell 1 million of them. All right.
Hey,
Let's buy 1 million.
Hey, man.
All right, sorry, boys.
Hey, that was from Boone. That was from the heart.
Yeah, I
get it right or wrong, which I agree with you. Job is obviously not finished.
Job's not finished.
That,
I don't care about
that took passion.
nothing.
I think you could lead the Lions out of the tunnel.
I just want to win a Super Bowl. I just hate the arguing and the people being like, oh, sit guys today. No, play them today. Oh, Sam Darnold, the Vikings, this, that. People, and I love the people in the chat, but people being like, oh, you're a Vikings fan. I don't care. I just want to win a Lombardi Trophy. Like, what happens if you go knock out one? And again, I'm fired up right now, so don't say I'm a Vikings fan. But what if you lose Sunday night? Guess what? I don't care. Job's not finished. It's a Lombardi Trophy. Who cares about that? I want a Lombardi. Bring me the Super Bowl.
Bro's having an emotional just meltdown right now.
Bring me the Super Bowl.
Job's not finished.
And I want that everywhere. All over the internet, everywhere. Job's not finished.
Job's not finished.
I want it everywhere. Job's not finished.
JNF.
Job's not finished.
Job's not finished. Put it on a t-shirt. That is, you know what?
I'm sweating now.
Wow.
Hey.
I think your aura,
Oh, don't say it, Jeff.
peak level. No, that was incredible aura. Hey, good job, Boone. I love it. Job's not finished.
And the Booner path is still very, very old. That's
I would say
that was not a breakdown.
That's
not a breakdown. I felt like I was Dan Campbell in the locker room talking to the boys right there.
That was an epiphany. It was an epiphany.
That was a speech right there. That has nothing to do.
Jobs not
finished. That has nothing to do with the breakdown. Nothing. That is, hey, I need to. That was me looking at the people in the Booner path saying, dial it.
Yeah.
I have cars over there on 53. I have cars on 96.
No.
I have cars on 94. We all need to get back on Woodward, and we all need to go straight forward here, and we need to just think about the Lombardi Trophy. Who cares about these fans and those fans and this fan and that fan? We're here.
Shout out, really.
Right here. All right.
You know what, Boone?
I'm here.
You know what, Boone? You just motivated. I gotta get a beer.
Yeah, I'll have a beer too.
That was good job, Boone. Let's give it
American.
up for Boone.
Good job, Boone.
You know what, Boone? You really impressed.
I was driving over here listening to some Jeezy, and I just thought of that.
Boone does love his Jeezy. I can't deny, whenever you get in the car with Booner, Jeezy will play in the first 3 songs. Might not be the first, might not be the second, but you could bet your fucking money that
Top 10 of all time.
It's at like minus 500. It'll
Top
be
10.
that third.
Top 10, baby.
Well, so I'm fired up.
Hey, shout out Steve Wilds.
And Steve Wilds, appreciate you for that $20, man. He says for the passion. Steve Wilds said for the passion,
The love of the game.
For the love of the game.
Steve Wilds, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Shift God says they will acknowledge us Sunday. Yeah, that's what he says. All right, we got the people fired up. Steve Wilds giving the fellas a super chat here. We got Shift God firing the people up. We think score prediction wise. I kind of said mine.
Oh, I need to do Booner or Booner bets. That's on me.
You want to do it first, or you want to get the scores and then Booner? What do you want to do?
Let's do those.
It was going to be a good segue we had.
Yeah,
going, Bill.
let's just hit the bets and then we'll end with the score prediction.
All right, what do you got for today?
Yeah, that's on me. My bad. I was just. All right, let's do this.
Hey,
you guys ready?
All
right, ready.
Let's
do Booner's Lay of the Day. Listen, I placed Booner's Lay of the Day yesterday, and don't let this worry you. Don't. It was plus 500 last night when I bet it. It's plus 700 now.
Yeah, bro, the lines have been fucking wild.
All the lines have moved today because Vegas does not want to get hit, and Vegas has no clue what's going on with Dan Campbell and this whole thing. So Booner's Lay of the Day, fellas, it is 6 or 5 likes. It's only 5 likes. I feel like I feel like it's easy, and I think it might be done by halftime. First one, Detroit Lions team total over 23.5. That's basically 3 touchdowns and a field goal. I think that hits. Second one, a guy who had 90 yards or 80 yards on them last year, Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta to get 40 receiving yards, alternate line. That's going to hit tonight. JMO, I have JMO in here with 50 yards. I know his line's moved all the way down to 53. I think it was at 58, 59 at one point, and it's all the way down to 53. I'm taking him alternate line at 50. Jahmyr Gibbs, I know his line has moved, but I'm taking him at 110. All purpose, 110 all purpose, Jahmyr Gibbs. And then the last one, Jared Goff. He's done this basically every game, but I think 2 or 3 this year, 2 passing touchdowns. And that's plus 713 if you go get it right now. So we have Jared Goff, 2 tutties, Jahmyr Gibbs, 110 all purpose yards, JMO 50, Laporta 40, and over 23.5 Detroit Lions team total. Guys, the Booner lay of the day is hit. It hit last week. It didn't the week before, but the 2 weeks before that it hit. So we're on 3 of the last 4 weeks. Today is a weird one. Like, obviously, bet that on your own risk on if you think guys get pulled or not.
Okay.
But that's me thinking that gets done by the 3rd quarter or 4th quarter and guys get pulled. So that's that. Straight bets. You ready for this, boys?
Yep.
All right.
I'm going straight JMO today, over 52.5. Over 52.5. I'm going to live bet it. I'm going to do a touchdown for JMO as well. Tim Patrick, I keep hearing his name. Bro. I locked this in this morning. Tim Patrick was at 27.5. I think I love that. I might do a touchdown, just a little sprinkle. You talked about it a little, Klotzy.
You're going to have Tim Patrick on Renardo Green.
Yeah, I'm not going to give touchdown out to the people, but I'll do over 27.5 to the people. And then as well as Lions team total over 27.5. I think that's plus 105. Go take that. I love that. And the last one I'm going to take, single bet, boys. I'm going to keep it simple. Detroit Lions, I think it's 3 right now. What's the line, Klotz? Do you know? It's 4.5 now, really. Take it 4.5. Take Lions minus 4.5. I think they win by at least, obviously 2 or 3 scores. So take that. And then legacy player, I already told the boys because they locked it in. Legacy player today, boys. Are you ready? I'm not going Craig. I'm not going Tim Patrick. All reliable, fellas. Sam Laporta over 46.5 yards. And then separately, we're taking Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
I think he's like now plus 200 for a touchdown. Sam Laporta 8 against the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. My guy, Klotzy, I already had this locked in, and I talked to him on the phone, and he said, I was watching some film, and everything opens up for the 49ers and Sam Laporta. So Sam Laporta, the stars aligned, over 46.5 and anytime touchdown plus 200. I love both. Those are my plays.
I honestly, thank you for the free money, Boone.
You're welcome.
Hey, Boone.
Thank you for your
Good
service.
stuff. You know what? You're doing great.
Yep.
I'd already got the parlay. I already got some of the singles, and I just, as you were talking, I just took the spread.
Okay.
I still have 3.5 on FanDuel, so I just took it at 3.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that as well.
So we're locked in tonight. And I see Shift God says go up 225 over passing yards. I like that too. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know you were. I didn't ask, but I didn't know you got JMO's singles in there over 50.
Yeah,
I love that. They keep putting his line.
My bad, Klotzy.
No, you're good.
They keep putting his line in the 50s. So I love it.
Laporta?
Or
JMO?
They've been his has been rising.
It rises, but
because he was
even
at 30
rising though. Like every week now, he's just
still cashing
by 40, 50, and you're sitting there and you're like, what's going on with that? So. No, I like the JMO one. I like the Laporta one.
Raise the sales says FanDuel has a live profit boost.
Yeah.
You might play something
so I'll tell the people this. There's 2 apps that I have. They both have live profit boost. I had put a bet in for Amon-Ra anytime touchdown I was going to give out and a JMO touchdown. I cashed them both out for the same amount of money that I put in, and I'm going to do a live Amon-Ra and I'm going to do a live JMO and boost both of them. So I will be on Amon-Ra touchdown as well too. I think everyone's going to eat today. The only one that I'm not going to put in is the Jahmyr because he's minus 250 anytime. And
it's like, no.
The only value is 2 touchdowns. I don't think he gets 2 today because I think Goff, they're going to be thrown. I think they want to get Goff in the rhythm.
I saw
think Jahmyr can do that.
By the way, hold on.
I wouldn't be shocked if he got 2 touchdowns.
Someone in the chat, I think it was IB3. Shout out to you. He put first half touchdown score. Jahmyr Gibbs first half touchdown score. It's even.
What is it?
Minus one.
Maybe I'll do
110. I think.
Yeah, I like that actually.
I love that.
Maybe I'll do
even
that.
Money.
I like that.
I am in.
I'm not taking a pick today. I know a lot of people are saying Kirby pick. I'm just not going to bet on it.
And I'm not saying you're picking it. If I could pick one player, I think Brock Purdy breaks out the pocket. Who don't?
I'm going Kirby.
Zadarius makes him run out of the pocket. He's trying to hit George Kittle. But you remember that interception he had against the Vikings when they tried hitting Jordan Addison and Brian Branch just came flying out of nowhere? I think it'd be something similar to that. But Brian Branch gets a pick tonight, I think. If I had to pick one, it'd be Branch.
Let me see. I'm going to go Kirby tonight. I think he gets a pick. But
I just think Kerb's like the deep shot guy. I don't see him throwing like any deep shots on the Lions.
Yeah,
Shot
look at,
feel.
I that makes sense. But I think Brian. I mean, those two are going to eat today. I see Terran Arnold. We're running it
I was
back.
about to say,
We're
Jeff,
running back to Terran Arnold.
Terrion gets his first pick of the year tonight. What do you think, Boone?
We're running it back again.
I'm not gonna put my.
You
life
thought we
on
were
that one.
over? No, we're back.
I'm not gonna die on that hill. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I just the first half TD score one. I just talked myself into.
You think Terrion goes his first season without getting a pick?
I mean, he's about to. I mean, I like
postseason
Terrion.
included.
And maybe he gets one in the postseason.
His entire career?
It's tough, dude. I mean,
No.
Doesn't get one next
maybe
year.
he gets one.
No, I'm
I don't know.
kidding.
I mean, I think there's a better chance of him getting one now going forward
Yeah.
because no Carlton
And
Davis.
they'll be throwing. I mean, he'll get.
Yeah.
They're going to be throwing.
There's
at
no
him. So he'll have
Carlton now,
opportunities.
so he's going to be in there, and he's going to be like, guys are going to be targeting him for sure. So
raise the sales. Put Lions first half spread -2.5. He likes that one.
I just took Lions minus what is it 3.5?
Yeah, still, I love
took
that.
them,
Yeah, that's a smart one. Dan says, "What up, boys? Let's go Lions." Appreciate you, Dan.
Come on, now.
By the way, I saw someone tune in and ask if this is the watch party. No, we're going to go live. It's on our channel already scheduled. The watch party, which will be in about 8 minutes or so, we'll go live. So be there. Let's get into score predictions.
Yeah.
Talk to me, fellas. I already said it 31-21. I think it's going to be one of those games where I think late in the game, the Lions pull away, score another touchdown, go up 10, and then the 49ers don't get back into it. They win by 10. So 31-21 Lions win.
All right. On the show Friday, I said a score prediction of 38-24. I since then have updated it.
Okay.
I'm keeping the line to 38, but we're going to take a touchdown away from the Niners. We're going Lions 38, the Niners 17. I think that the Lions. I think it is. I think just over the course of the game, it's just the team that's been hot is going to stay hot. The team that's been cold is going to stay cold. I don't think the 49ers find any type of offensive spark against this Detroit Lions team, who's also just, I think, going to be keeping that offense for the 49ers off the field for a good amount of time, too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say Lions 45, 49ers 24, 45-24.
So three
I like
scores,
it.
they win.
Yeah,
by.
and I think the scores for the 49ers come in the second half.
They beat up on the second stringers.
Yeah, when guys are, you see different guys, Maurice Norris and those guys in there playing. I don't know why I said Maurice Norris.
Yeah, did Morris Norris makes his return.
I saw him the other day. Oh, I saw a video. they were doing the video pulling the hat or the name out of the hat.
I know, yeah.
And he was in there, and that was what I thought of. But no, hey, shout out to him. And the people too. By the way, I've got a lot of comments today. Like, who are they going to play if the Lions take starter? The Lions, they had some depth.
But that offensive line, no one would get benched on that offensive line.
No, I think you would
I'd
see a
find
couple
a way
guys.
to
I think you would end up seeing. You know who
You
might
take
play?
Frank out.
Maybe Frank.
You get Hogg and Skipper out there.
Yeah, maybe you move Graham
I
to
mean-
center, and then you move around a little bit. I don't know.
Who's that other guard that they have?
Nice.
Yodi is not.
Yode's not.
available.
Yeah, they literally don't have two guards.
You just get Frank out of there.
Yeah, Frank would be the one.
Move
Frank
Graham,
out.
Graham, and throw in Mahogany, and then just roll with that.
Hey, for those tuning in, I already linked it. So
What's
it's redirected.
what are we? Hey, what's the motto going forward, boys?
Jobs not finished.
Hold on, ready?
Jobs not finished.
All right, there we go. Hey, we'll see you guys.
Hey,
at the
pop
watch
up that
party,
logo.
Hey, we'll
Pop
see you
up
guys.
that thumbnail.
We'll see you guys in a second. Appreciate it.
Yeah.